And that payment schedule should be
Right.
part of it. Absolutely.
And are we gonna retain a portion?
Until everything's checked off, absolutely,
Yeah.
we should have a retainage.
The same thing with, I'm thinking that with the roof, cause we
Yep.
didn't do any of that, but, usually they'll hold a percentage for at least a year before they finally pay it off, in case there's any problems. Otherwise, you're trying to track them down to get them to come back
Yeah.
and do
See
something
if
that
it's your leverage.
they're all, you don't have any, you know?
Yeah, this is everything we've expended so far, correct? Alright, so we've got budget 48, we've spent 15, expenditures and commits 0, so we have 33,000 left. Correct?
I see.
So if we, in theory,
What, 29?
29, 6.
Well, 27, 20,
Well, no, that's still,
30.
there's more. No, right here, so we got, that's for the materials, but this, the other scope stuff comes up to 29.
yeah, the whole bill is 29.6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we have to keep in mind that our,
Have to have some contingency too.
the third time we put out our slate to bid, they came in a little higher, or actually, the second time around. We did slate in metal, didn't get any promising bids, and we did another round, so this, we have to set aside a couple grand from budget for the slate, if it actually comes in at that true cost when he goes out to get the pieces, I know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have,
We had a warrant of 65, and then it came in at 67 the second time around.
okay.
so it was a couple of grand anyway.
I mean, I'll be bringing in the budget for a quarterly at the end of the month, unless you want it next week, and we'll look at the whole budget as overall, and see where we're, still funded for. I'm sure there's some floating money there that we can, if we run over on this line, it won't be an issue, because we'll have other areas that we have to fall back on.
True. I mean, this nothing's gonna happen immediately, I mean, cause even if we want, with someone tonight, in theory, we have to get contract documents drawn up and signed, and then it's 30 days from there, so I mean, we're talking October, but,
Yeah, we're into the end of October.
and then if they roof it, they're talking October, November timeframe before they roof it, so.
Yeah, you're gonna be right out of this fiscal year.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Well, just leave the normal quarterly review where it belongs.
Yeah, I got a couple more weeks,
Yeah,
2 weeks.
I don't think, doing it any earlier ain't gonna really help us any. Alright, gentlemen, what you think? I'm all ears.
Well, should we ask this, company here to draw up their standard contract so we can have a hack and whack at it?
We gonna let them draw it up, or we draw it up?
Well, I don't know, which way do we wanna go? I mean, they had the RFP, right?
They had the engineered specs.
Yeah.
No, but we gave them a copy of the RFP at the same
No, there was
time?
no RFP,
No.
this is just
No.
put the specs out there
Just
and
the
just
specs?
Yeah,
get a feel for what the cost is gonna be.
Or could we give them a copy of the RFP then, have them bid to that?
Do we have an RFP for this?
Didn't we? Oh, no, we didn't have one for this, did we?
No,
I'm
no.
sorry.
no, just the
Right.
roof, just the roof
Just for the roof,
material.
that's right, I forgot, yeah.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think originally we thought that this would come in within like the
Yeah,
5 to 20,000, or even a lot less, I think, at first, but then as
Yeah,
we
well-
looked at the,
Yeah.
had people quote on the design itself, it started going up higher, and then
Yeah,
just my
it
own homework, looking at,
Mm-hmm.
Cohen Steel, it was, an
Yeah.
eye opener.
okay.
Well, I'm looking at the first two numbers, and it still looks like they have the bulk of what's coming up down below.
Mhm.
It's almost incorporated
Yeah,
as a second thought, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Cause they haven't made much difference,
oh god,
and
no.
for the amount of work that has to be
Right.
done on the bottom.
It's a lot, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah,
but
Yep.
yeah, no, they gave you a cursory,
Cause we asked them to just look at the roofing structure itself.
Mm-hmm,
This hasn't changed a whole lot
yep.
from what they have to do right to the,
It's funny that the two of them are only a $4,000 reduction.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Well, like, bidder C there is, trying, looks to me like they're telling us that they don't wanna do it because
Right.
why are they so high?
They're ridiculously
I
high.
mean, yeah, even I know that's outrageous
Yeah.
for the amount of work that's gonna be done, that's including the doors.
and actually, when we talked, this number that's here for what you're looking at getting done is in the area of what we thought we might have to spend on the high.
Yep.
The only problem I have is taking apart every, and I know it's maintenance money, and we have no idea what's gonna happen down the road.
Yep.
But we're gonna tear away at that maintenance money. You know, and if we were going with something like this, I have to say that, I'd have to say, you gotta have a warrant article
Yep.
and let people decide, cause that's a lot of money to spend.
That is, I mean, it's within our purview, yes,
I
but I
understand,
don't disagree with you.
right, I understand, but when you're gonna spend
Yeah.
$100,000,
Oh, I thought you meant the
no, I'm just
29.
saying, I understand that,
Oh.
you know?
I thought you meant the 29.
But when if you had to do something like this,
Yeah,
especially,
oh yeah, if it was $100,000, yeah, we don't have that.
that,
Like,
no,
Right, no, we
there's no way.
No, that'd be a warrant article, for certain, but I
But
mean,
even
29.
this, you know, it would have been nice, knowing this earlier on,
Mhm.
to be able to add extra money into
Absolutely.
putting the slate saying, you may have to do some work
Mhm.
here, and incorporating extra dollars, cause we
Yes.
don't have any.
Absolutely. No, I mean, ideally, I'd love to be able to, put out to the voters and let them decide. I have a feel they'd probably sign on to it in a heartbeat, because they already wanna do a roof.
Right,
So, I mean, I don't think they're gonna take and say no to that, cause that'd be kinda, love to sweat your face. But in the meantime,
well,
we're
I know
running out of
that,
time
yeah,
too.
exactly, no, I understand that, you're up against the gun. And again, like I said, we're taking out a maintenance budget that could impact
Absolutely,
whether it's the transfer station or whatever.
yep,
You know, he's got money there for maintenance that you could almost happen to have something happen at the same time and have
oh,
a
absolutely.
storm.
Right. Well, you have the cylinder over there that, blew out, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
One of these trees can, lean up against a building and, then we're SOL.
well, then you have insurance.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Ask the town of Hopkinton and the town of Henniker how that worked when they had fires in their
Yeah,
way.
Insurance company tried to pay
Actually,
out.
wait a minute, one of them did collect, was it Hopkinton where the
Henniker,
trucks burnt?
yeah.
Actually, made the Sunday paper
They
that
find, well,
they
they may
got-
have finally,
yeah,
but I mean, it's not gonna be a check immediately.
oh, no,
no,
So you're on the hook for getting it all done and hoping that money will just come in and reimburse you.
So if I was gonna go with something, I don't know, for some reason, I trust this number, so,
The 29.6?
yeah.
Yeah, I do too, I mean, I'm comfortable
Yeah.
with it, I think it's more reasonable.
It's just the matter in which someone gets paid and the ability to at least withhold some for a period of time to make sure that there's no problems.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, if I hear you all correctly, it sounds like you're willing to go with bidder B for 29.6
Yeah,
and take it out of the maintenance, and let's get it done.
yeah, I
Well,
think we should.
you're kinda up again, cause people are gonna wonder what's going on with the roof too. and-
Yep.
and
Yeah, we like the
that's-
bridge.
That's the major part right now, is the fact that you need to get some of that framing work done.
Absolutely. Absolutely, well done. We've got 33 in the kitty at this point in time for maintenance for town buildings. If everybody's in agreement, I'll make a motion that we take and proceed with securing bidder B for construction for a total of $29,693 to retrofit the town hall roofing structure before we proceed with the slate roof.
I will second that.
Discussion, we've already kinda had it,
Yeah.
now the motion's actually on the table.
Yeah.
Now's the time to speak up.
No, like I say, those are the conditions that I would like to see is, you know, because we've gotten people to come in and do things before and, you know, get part of the money and go and not do much, you know?
Well, we still have Tepe on the leash there for, as the architect, and we have Fisher as well.
Yeah,
So maybe using those two as resources, if we can work with, Score Construction and get the documents for next week, we might be able to sign them and get them done, possibly, you think?
So have SCORE draft up some, a contract,
Yeah. Or
and
either,
then ask Tepe or,
and or Fisher to take. a
Fisher
look.
to look at it and see if
Yep.
it covers,
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
And,
And actually, it gives you a chance to look and see if there's if we're allowed to retain, or if he has it built in, or do we have to create something?
yeah, we may have to amend his contract.
Yep,
should
yep.
include a payment schedule in there and everything, obviously,
Yeah.
because we're not gonna just pay for,
Yeah.
right up front.
Right.
Yeah, we need to retain some leverage, otherwise
Right.
that we could end up.
Yeah,
Okay,
to Bob's point, we could be spending the money and getting nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, we don't wanna do that.
but just looking at their list of references,
Yeah, they're pretty
so,
solid.
yeah, I know,
also.
those are pretty impressive. So, I'm hoping that those were all
I
good.
mean, if you have a few moments from, you might wanna call a couple of these, maybe.
I'll have Joe call him
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't mean you personally,
Yeah,
anybody.
we can have someone call, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
Like fire, yeah.
I mean, there's a police
Oh,
department,
yeah.
that would be,
Yeah, fire department there,
Absolutely.
St. Paul's School of Art.
And if they all check out, you know, I mean, 2, 3, 4, whatever you decide to go with, and they all check out, and I think, let these folks know, and we'll start the process so we can, get this thing done. If they can get it done in time, and or we can let, our roofing contractor know, so he can prepare.
order, at least order the slate,
If
right?
he wants to do it before the snow flies, I mean, if all goes well, I don't know what his schedule looks like.
Okay,
You know, you just wanna find out what quality
Yeah.
work he did,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
these could be any size projects.
Yeah, what,
Yep.
yeah, how
yeah,
big of
so
a
that's what we
project
need
was
to
it?
ask, is
Yeah.
what size.
What was the project?
And I think, one good question I would ask them, I think, would be is, would you hire these guys back again to do another project? Cause if they say, yeah, I would, that's a good sign that they're
Yeah,
quality folks, so
big
they say,
outfit looking
I
for-
wouldn't have them build a doghouse, then
Yeah.
we know better. Well, gentlemen, as much as this pains me to do this, I think we did the right thing.
Yep.
Ideally, I would like to have gone out with a warrant article, if we had more time and done it that way, but, we gotta take care of this building before it falls down around our ears.
You know, you have to give the engineers that looked at this credit with the
Absolutely.
fact that they're concerned of all the residents using the building and making sure that,
Yep.
we may not think much of it, but they have a figure that they use and they figure snow loads and everything.
Absolutely. Yep. You gotta do it
So
right.
that's what they're looking at, is if something happens, that's their reputation.
Yeah, yeah, 'cause their name is on that stamp.
Yeah.
So,
And we don't wanna come down around anybody's ears
No.
either.
No,
but I
Absolutely.
know that to do the additional work down below, and I think these guys are way out of whack.
Yes.
His number would reflect, if he was looking at the whole
Mhm.
thing instead of just the attic, I think he'd be close to these numbers.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
lot of
so
work in those
To
stores.
go any further with the building going in the future, if something happens and we notice that for some reason there's a sag or the door sticks or whatever,
I did talk to him about the overhead doors, so he's willing to, measure and do some,
but my thing is, before we do something with that, we
Yeah.
wanna let the townspeople weigh in,
Mhm.
yeah.
and that's something that would
Oh, yeah,
happen
yeah,
at a
yeah.
town meeting.
But it's something we should monitor anyways, even
Absolutely.
if, before and then after.
But probably
Yeah.
like the other two people sitting up here with me, it's really is hard, cause you gotta find the money to get this done. But at the same time, it would have been nice to
Mhm.
have people aware of, it's not just, if you're gonna have, and especially if you're gonna have slate,
Mhm.
cause slate's a lot heavier than the metal was,
Mhm.
that you should have some padding there, because there were concerns that were brought up,
Right,
No, absolutely.
And let's hope the
That's what we said.
references come back positive.
yeah,
Yeah, let's hope we can start to put that behind us a
It
little
would
bit.
be nice,
Yeah,
it would be nice.
We got budget
You
coming up.
can't put a little donation can on your desk out there, so,
Oh, maybe just have the chief increase the, stopping on along 13 and collecting some more
Hey,
fines.
yeah, how many
Kind of as a
tickets,
fundraiser?
We just direct them all here.
Yeah,
said the chief, how many tickets do we have to give out to cover this?
you know, it goes to the highway fund, right?
Just
A lot, pay as you go.
Oh dear, alrighty folks, we'll move on to the mailbox here.
Okay.
We have an agreement and release regarding the building permit on a private road, downtown David M. Thank you.
Casheline or
Cashelinus,
Cashelinus.
That's how you
And
pronounce
Michael
it?
D.
Yeah.
Smith. Hereafter referred to as owner of the property located on Holiday Shore Drive, Town of Dunbarton, County of Merrimack, State of New Hampshire. The town of Dunbarton herein referred to as a town, a municipal corporation existing under the laws of the state of New Hampshire and agreed as follow.
You have to read the whole thing?
No, I'm just kind of, so these guys can,
Well, I think we
Can I
I did look
just,
at that.
so, there is a whole pile of whereases and for-tos
Okay.
and stuff.
what you have before you, Brian,
Yes.
is a hold harmless agreement from the Cashelines and the Smiths for lot of record K 123 as was granted a variance to build on a lot of record without classified frontage by the ZBA with conditions. This is one of the conditions, that the, hold harmless form be, signed, witnessed, and filed at the registry of deeds at their expense, so that they can get a building permit. And that's where we have missed this in a few different, we also use the same form for properties that are lots of record on a class 6, so they get a variance,
Mhm.
and we have to have them, it's basically a private driveway, private drive, whatever, however you wanna call it, but this is the document that Steve Whitley had emphasized, that these are important, that we have these
Yeah, we
signed, so
haven't
that
always done
we
it.
do not, are not held responsible for any, issues that arise down the road, so. This is actually one of the bigger lots, he owned 2 lots and had been merged,
Mhm.
and so it's almost just under an acre. It's the
Gotcha.
last lot at the end of that, or paper road, I should say, it's not a class 5, it's not.
Right. I'm not seeing where it says, part of the thing, one of the requirements is that they can say that, strike up the clause, road maintenance stuff's here, okay, oh, so they took it out,
They took it out,
okay.
yeah.
So, this is what it looks like, gents, if you're interested.
took a look at it the other day.
Okay,
I see the letter.
Just write it down.
Thank you.
so basically.
It's in my notes,
It's in your notes?
number 5. Signed hold harmless
Oh.
agreement,
Okay, thank you.
So, we don't need to make a motion or anything, do we?
just need
Look
to
at that.
sign it, and I'll witness your signature.
That's if we don't want, what if we don't wanna sign it?
I'll be sending you to the zoning board.
I don't care. I don't care. I'll go, I've been there before. Alrighty. Before we start, everybody good with
Yeah,
this?
go right ahead, yeah, I'm
Okay.
just looking for the map.
I guess I know it here, right, cause you're the witness?
Yep. That's correct.
There we go, Robert. Pick one. No particular order.
Cool.
I'm wondering if that's a Cashelinus that was in my local. It was a David Cashelinus.
Oh, is that right?
Could be.
There you go.
Well, let's
I'll
not
take
go
it.
back and
Oh,
go.
alright,
And then we'll just witness it.
yeah, you get a witness and stamp it.
There you go.
Great, thank you.
Alright, we have James St. Jean Auctioneers, State of New Hampshire surplus property auction is on October 15th. Looks like you're gonna be passing out, or if you have.
Already have,
Already have, so,
everyone's been noticed, just an FYI.
yep, I don't know if we have anything that's going or not, but. good. Alright, Michelle Clark, DRA, EMS 535.
That is our financial, that's just what we set our tax rate on. And I believe their unassigned fund surplus is on page 20 or 22. And because we've
Why
used
do we have to kill a tree?
so much, surplus in the last 2 years, one of which was
Yeah, I saw that
what
on the other report.
lapsed. We used that towards our budget, and then at tax rate setting last year, we used 100 grand of our surplus. So
Caution us
our
about that.
remaining by the DRA standards is 224,000 roughly, 221 is the number right around that page maybe?
It's unassigned, assigned fund, unassigned is,
220.
224,192.
Right, but by the auditor's standpoint, because some of those unassigned funds are earmarked for certain things that are really,
Warrant articles,
yeah, we actually are down to like $21,000.
that was in the auditor's report that she sent
Because
us.
the Gatsby's changed, we have to,
38 pages.
there's,
Yeah, I know, I read it today.
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I know that you were against it pretty strongly last year, but, this goes to show that we need to stop using our unassigned
can't
fund
do that
surplus,
so much.
let it get,
Build it
It's
up.
the rainy day fund in case, like, again, what if tree hits the town hall, you know, we get no money to fix it, we're gonna be just putting blue tarps up there and everybody's gonna be PO'd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 224 looks good, but,
Yeah,
that's
but when you
not
peel
accurate.
back that it's not really available,
Right, cause
Mhm.
then you start taking out all the warrant articles,
Right.
cause those are really truly assigned to something,
Yeah.
right?
but not on paper they're not, for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So you just assign it,
We do,
cause this mirrors the auditor's report that you sent us.
correct. And this is the one that's the fillable PDF that the, DRA
Sent
will
the short version.
upload it into the tax rate setting
Yeah.
program, and we'll probably hear from them within the next day, couple days. By next Thursday, we'll have numbers to set the tax rate,
Cool.
cause they're right at the top.
Gonna go lower.
Governing body, so we just basically sign
We
and,
picked up 1.4 million in assessment, but we've spent like, what, 400,000 on our warrants? I'm gonna put my numbers together for
Yeah.
next week, see what
Yeah.
my estimate comes out at, now that we have the final
we
numbers.
just pick a spot anywhere here and sign.
Yep, and I'll print on the bottom.
Signature and title.
That's the MS 535.
Go this way so that way we can transfer it to the.
It's the MS 535, it's on number 4 of my notes.
This is very helpful with this. Thank you.
This goes with that.
Yep.
And that goes probably like this. And that goes with that. When you put in John Hancock on that, we'll. Everybody saw the, reports from the NRRA.
Yes, I did, yeah.
So, I know you sent, I saw a picture that was in the office regarding like a recycling board and everything. And I know I remember sending a picture of the town of Gilmanton,
Gilmanton has one
yeah,
too?
email, I sent you an email, well, everybody in
That
email.
goes way back.
Yeah, that was way
Yeah.
back,
Yeah,
but I like that idea personally of putting like, somewhere so that people can see how many tons have come out, this, that, and all the fees and, so, cause otherwise that, or either put it in the town report somehow, so it's tangible for them, I guess, I don't know, what's your thoughts? Cause I mean, I wouldn't just put this report in, and they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about?
yeah, right.
Well, if you're doing it annually, like,
Yeah.
probably would make sense in
Yeah,
the
just-
town report, so you
Yeah.
know what exactly,
Right.
actually, exactly what the recycling effort's doing.
Right,
Right,
it should be part of that, I would think,
yeah.
I'd like to know.
It might stop some of the people that are going there and throwing all the recyclables in the
Trash,
big
Yep.
container, you know?
Absolutely. especially if they know how much it's gonna cost on taxes.
Yeah,
Every pound that you pull out, you know, give or take, I mean, you're gonna have to somehow take and,
average it.
average it exactly, I mean, cause, you know, obviously tin cans is different than that, so you pay for glass, you don't pay for that. So, oh, sorry, we didn't get to see it,
I
I'm
didn't
sorry.
get to see this.
Usually you're the one that reads them first.
Well, I just got it late in the day, so
Yeah.
I'm constantly adding things to you guys.
Speaking of transfer station, household hazardous waste day is, 8:30 to 1 on October 1st. So, I assume we're gonna take and participate, as
Yeah.
we usually do.
Yeah, I've got it posted on Hot Topics that they're looking for volunteers. If I haven't got it there yet, that's one of my items to talk about.
I remember that was kind of a big bill last year, didn't we get hit with a bill for somebody
Yeah,
who backed out or something?
Different vendor.
A vendor was
Yeah.
a no-show, weren't they?
Yeah, and they had to have another vendor come in, and they
Yeah.
cost
Oh,
them like
did you have to
$4,000 more.
sign?
I
No, I
think
just
they're,
wanna see it.
I think they're prepared this time around though, there was
Are
some,
they?
a few other, I think you mentioned in a couple of the emails to me that they've taken the things under advisement and they found a different source, so
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're ready.
because I think we get hit with a bill we didn't expect, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Can't remember, I think I may have put this
Yeah.
on Hot Topics.
And speaking of MS3 we had the draft, everybody saw
Yep.
that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have reviewed it and, approved it, so now it's in the final formatting and it's being bound, so we'll be receiving those. Once we receive our final
already talked
documents,
about
we'll
that.
schedule an exit conference.
Yep.
We already talked about that stuff.
Okay. Oof,
Okay,
I'm just gonna throw this all together, and we're done with mailbox.
okay, I just have one item
No,
to bring up.
no.
Linda
No.
Landry, told me that, she felt the
I?
elections, oh, I don't know. Linda Landry said that the elections went very well.
Yes.
She just asked me to pass this on to the board, that after each election, the board needs to communicate to the town office that if there is a need to schedule cleanup in the morning. So that way, I'm avoiding sending someone there when it's not necessary, so
Oh.
I don't mind
Sorry.
a text message or an email or something, just so that we're all on this open and same. If I send someone there, I should be paying him a minimum if he's not needed, and you
Mhm.
guys have taken care of all the work, then that's
You
even
know,
better.
everybody was really good and broke everything down, and it was good.
Yeah, she said everything went well, so.
Yes, indeed. Went well for our first election with a new moderator, so, the next one's gonna be probably brutal, because everybody in the borough's gonna probably come in and vote, which I don't blame them, they should,
Yeah.
so that's gonna be a lot of work on our end,
Yeah,
so. Well, we'll probably have to we'll need all hands on deck that day.
two
Yeah.
days.
Probably, cause, well, we just did the primary here, and it took us into almost 11:30, right,
Yeah,
when we got that done?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're probably going on the second day.
Yeah.
So,
When is that, November what?
8th.
Okay.
Great. Anything else for us?
No, I guess I'll try to work on the job descriptions this week.
Yeah, oh, I started working on them, and I know, as I mentioned to you on the phone, that, I got one screen at home, so I'm dropping one down, bringing one up back and forth, and it was driving me crazy.
So I can move on to something else, you're okay with taking that
Yeah,
little
I just,
project, so that we're not duplicating
yeah,
things?
I have a location where I can use two screens like I do at work, and, you know, it makes it so much easier, that way you can put them side by side and you can work. I was just going, I'm so used to two screens, it was just giving me a headache, driving me crazy, so, I just stopped, and if all goes well, I should have it, and when I do, I'll send them out as drafts.
Yep.
And as draft, anything that's marked with draft, we can communicate amongst ourselves and work on it until it becomes an actual document, so. We'll send it out there and we can go back and forth, you guys see.
And I think next week you won't be here, Tom? Is
That's
that
correct.
still correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so I'll make sure I'll try to get on early in the week, so are you gonna be here during the week at all?
This week? No,
Oh, so you're gone all week?
all week, that's my plan.
Aha, so even if I send it to you a draft, you won't have a chance to look
I
at it?
will not have a connection.
Well, maybe just you and I then,
yeah.
we'll have to live with them.
I can move on to another project, get something else off my desk.
Yeah. How are we doing with the return to work policy?
I haven't heard back from Primex, I'll ask our rep.
Well, she's on vacation, you said,
No, she's actually just the, person handling
the case?
the case. We have a rep from Primex that works with contracts and that type of thing. I'll ask her if that was something
Yeah.
that she was able to forward somewhere within that department. And I know that they said they have them on, attorneys on
Mhm.
as part of their whole team, so they should be able to look at that.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get that moving as well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all part and parcel of it. Excuse me. Something that, I know transfer station comes up all the time, how are we doing with that? Everything's still moving smooth?
Over there, I stopped in on Wednesday night, got another request from one of the part-timers that I'll bring up with Woody tomorrow morning, and, other than that, the place looked really good. I thought that they were still, aside from having equipment down and whatnot, the recycling area was fairly clean, that they weren't, they had 2 bales that they had to bring over to the trash, but they were in a container ready to wheel over. So they,
Nice.
stayed ahead of the game with, Tuesday, sometimes they could be trying with the
Mhm.
shorthanded and, commercial haulers
Mhm.
come in with tons, and it just goes into a bin that has to be emptied. So they're really good about making sure the trash goes in one,
Mhm.
and then paper goes in another. They've got a pretty good system over there.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so we actually doing the sorting for the commercial hauler?
Pardon?
Are we doing the sorting for the commercial hauler?
No, how they do it is there's a square container that's probably 4.5 to 5 feet tall.
Yep.
And the commercial hauler has to put all his paper together.
Mhm.
All of his paper gets put into that,
Okay.
cause you can't stand there at
Mhm.
the, what is that, compactor?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You have to put it in something.
Right.
And then they do the same thing with bag trash.
Mhm.
And then they do the same thing with metal or bulk or whatever. They
Okay.
have different containers for every type of sort, and then what they know they can bring to the back, then they drive right up and then take
Gotcha.
that out,
Okay.
so.
The way it made it sound, I thought, I was envisioning that we are
Yeah, we're doing
taking
their work.
this
No,
big
the-
tub
the
of
one- the
trash and doing all the sorting.
The second box, there's a really, it's probably almost 2/3 of this table. It has plastic bags and what people do with their
Mhm.
plastics and metal and stuff like that, to put it in plastic bags, but they have to keep it separate
Mhm.
from the trash, so it looks like a trash bin, but it's all
Mhm.
recyclables.
Gotcha.
And then those have to be taken, opened up
Mhm.
and sorted, and then, and then they do the same thing for cardboard, so. And then the
Mhm.
commercial hauler takes his trash, garbage trash, to the back,
Mhm.
so.
Well, hopefully they'll get the contact and back up online here next day.
Yeah, in the meantime, Woody's had this guy, Ed,
Mhm.
weld a few other things on that
Yep.
machinery while it's open, so
Yeah,
Absolutely.
makes sense.
get it done.
While you're there, take care of it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Alright. Speaking of trash, we gonna take a look at some of the contracts the state have regarding possibly putting a dumpster down at the school or, other
I like
things?
the idea, yeah.
You sent this ones, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't look at them yet.
I had a few, I went through them and I know, I'll look at them again and.
I
and
still
pull
have
the
it
list.
on mine, so I can go to
Okay.
it.
Well, not every contract is relevant to our area.
Right,
I went through and I looked at some and I toggled them, I'll pull it up at home and I'll send you an email which ones that are,
Is that something you want Woody to look at? Cause I kind of briefly laid out a couple of items that I thought were in progress with the board that he would have to look into, and that,
I mean, it wouldn't hurt, that's for sure. Keep them in the loop.
yeah, give him the, list of state contracts if he has time, where he's
Well,
doing
I mean,
office.
there's like 5 different trash ones there, but I mean, only like 2 of them are only relevant to our neck of the woods.
Okay,
Some of them are like up in Haverhill and Pittsburgh, I mean, I just grabbed all of them at the time, I didn't sort them
Okay.
out and segregate, but I'll send you a list of which ones, we probably ought to focus on to look at.
okay, I have a meeting with him at 10:30 tomorrow, I don't know.
I-
if that's- no.
Maybe, but I wouldn't
I'll
hold your
look
breath.
for your email, I'll see if I can pull something out of there.
and I think, and it's been a while ago,
Mhm.
had that discussion with Woody as far as at the the school. So find out if that's the thing he was talking about, that because of how many times that they weren't willing to do it or something. I know something like that came up when we were talking.
Yeah.
And it's a while ago, so,
Yeah,
you know, you're
right.
challenging me.
I think what he had said was that it looks like we're starting the ball rolling again, it's kinda like what he said, I'm not sure. He just basically said that we had looked into this or gone this route before, and now we're looking at it again, but
Yeah.
I guess you have to keep looking at it, see if it's cost effective, if it works,
Absolutely.
you know?
Right, and if it's doable, you know, I
Right,
mean,
Absolutely.
before,
we may,
yeah,
we may not be generating enough to get someone to come out here and do that, I don't know, I know he referred to something that, and it might not even be that, so.
right, because as far as the trash, and I did the test through the summer months, as far as the other buildings, we don't generate hardly any trash at
Yeah.
all. And if for us to be able to reduce our trash to once a week pickup at the school for the summer months, and then now we're back into 3 times a week, but it was mostly because of the remodeling of the, you know, things that they were pulling out and getting rid of that decided didn't want any longer, or new monitors or whatever. It goes up and down, it's
Right,
not
right.
consistent, you know, with the amount of trash that has to get removed. So, and you're right, if you have to have a minimum
Yeah,
weight,
and I don't know if that's what he was referring to.
yeah, yeah,
So just,
yeah. we'll
cause
talk
that,
about it.
you know, you're taxing my memory now, so,
Okay,
and we're paying enough taxes as it is.
Alright. Wow, I'm done with my questions for the time being, good.
I'm good, no, I'm good.
How about you, sir?
I don't have anything other than, we briefly touched on this, and I know sometimes warrant articles are written for 5 years, and I know they're allowed to. But my concern has been when you bring it out for 5 years and someone waits till almost the 5th year before they spend the money, sometimes that changes
the cost
the
goes up.
number that we're using.
Mhm.
And, you know, I don't know, but I'd be kinda reluctant to extend something to 5 years when, you know, in a couple of years' time, you'll see some change, not as much, and then,
But on the other hand, I just wanna speak up, because I understand what you're saying, and I think it came from the audience at town meeting, is why do we have to have a 5-year expiration? Why can't we just get it done now? This is a perfect example. We had to put the bid out for the roof material 3 times, and we then found that we had to do additional structural, retrofitting, and this has been an ongoing stressful bid process, and it's not that we've been
right.
lax in even doing anything, it's just been very time consuming.
But just to correct that is, but we're still in the first year, and if you have 2 years.
Actually, we're in the second year now.
Yeah.
No, actually, they passed the money this March to do the roof, cause we turned it down, remember they,
2 years ago,
2
with,
years ago.
with the town hall, that's when we got the,
Yeah.
the money
we
for
got
the
it,
roof.
with the bond, and we turned down the bond, and we passed the
Yes.
roof.
But that, and again, though, that's an unusual in comparison to
Mm,
some of the other things that we've done in the past, and the
Yeah.
bridge being
Yeah.
the one that highlights it
But-
is,
From my experience too in the past, the Department of Revenue actually changed the method of warrant article language to allow them to have a broader area, because they found that towns and cities were going through not being able to get the work done by and with that expiration of December 31st, and having to go back and revisit it again at the following year. I mean,
Nothing that says that it has to be 5 years, we can do
No.
up to 5 years.
no,
So in other words, like, say we wanted to say you make it a 2-year warrant article or a 3-year,
they recommend the 5,
I
because you start
understand that.
picking 1, 2, 3, and 5, then you have to track,
Yeah, you try to
you know, the
manage it.
different, yeah, you're managing different expiration dates, but it also,
you do that anyway with any one.
right, but even with the case of John Wigan, with his fire department warrant, the first time we had it, it expired, 1 year. This year here, the same grant, he's ask for 5 years so that he can continue to search for that grant and get that
Well,
money.
something like that, that would make sense, I mean, because it's.
What I'm looking
a
for
revenue
is,
source.
pardon me for
No,
interrupting.
go ahead.
But what I'm looking at is when we're expending money, unfortunately, costs don't stay the same.
Right,
And sometimes they can go down,
yep,
I'll give you that,
yep,
but most of the time, costs increase. So if you're gonna expend this amount of money to do something, and I'm gonna use the example that this town is very conservative with how much they spend. So the numbers are pretty close to the numbers you need. So when you go 4 years down the road, you're gonna find there might be a big difference. And then you've gotta either go back to them, or you gotta find, I just don't like having every department come in and talking to them about seeing where we can cut budgets to move money to take care of an issue, you know, when it's either that or we have to do something and put extra money in there in case it goes that.
well, this budget line item, for example, last year, this year, we budgeted 48,779, and there was a small buffer in there. Last year, we dropped that down to 18,000, and that was totally unreasonable. I think that overall, if you have situations like, you know, a big piece of equipment breaking down, and there's not enough in the maintenance line of a department, that's where it's in the hands of the selectmen to make that decision, where to take that money from, but we're behind the 8 ball with even getting all of our
Right,
buildings
well,
up to,
And that's what I was gonna say, is we're taking maintenance money,
yeah,
but we have other places that, had this not occurred, there were places that could be utilized,
yeah,
and we wouldn't be asking for the same monies again.
yep,
So I guess, I don't know, when we get to doing the budget, I guess we have to look at exactly what we're gonna pen in for numbers that we wanna use, because it's not fair to keep it so close that you can't, catch a breath,
there's no contingency fund,
you know.
yeah, there's nothing for emergencies, yeah.
Well, it would be if we don't keep draining down the unassigned fund balance, $24,000.
You saw that, huh, Brian?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too.
I
was
read
like,
that this afternoon, I'm thinking,
It's- And I told her, after you've read through the first 20-something pages, the rest of it gets to be redundant,
Yeah.
what you just read,
Mhm.
you know.
That's true.
Yeah, that was an eye
But
opener.
anyhow, and I'm not about raising everybody's taxes,
Mhm.
but I mean, we gotta treat this responsibly. If we don't, we get into the situations we are now. Had the compactor gone where you needed a new piston or whatever it was, and had to spend 10,000, you know, where are we?
SOL.
You know?
It's either that or that. Yeah.
Right.
We'd have to make some shit. Or either that, all the departments have to cough up some if we wanted to do that, not that we want to. It's not fair to them.
Right,
Right, and that's my point.
Yeah.
It's not fair to drag everybody in, and especially late in the game, you know, is having
yeah, cause everyone's
everybody come
conserving
in.
their money to make
Right.
sure they have enough to get to
To
the
get
end
to
of the
the
year, and
Yeah.
then they find that they have to,
Cough it up.
And to take care of the things they needed to take care of, but they didn't wanna do it right away because
Yep.
they have a restricted budget that they're working with.
yep,
Well, we gotta get that building behind us
Yes.
so that we can get back to
Yeah.
normal.
The building and the bridge.
Yeah, the building and the bridge, you get that right.
yeah, I agree, that
Take
would
up
be,
too much of our time. Chief, I know you're not on the agenda, but, I'll leave the last spot for you here before we go to public comment. Welcome.
Right now, since I've had Woody, we've been, getting to some vehicle maintenance things that we haven't been able to address for several months. Mostly, some of the emergency lighting and things like that down at Adamson Industries, so kind of a long ride. So he's been taking care of some of those things for us, and we've addressed some other maintenance issues to, try and keep the fleet going a little longer, so. It's been kind of the focus as far as, non-criminal justice related things have been going right now.
So, I mean, what do you have them doing besides shuttling vehicles? If you don't mind us asking.
He's doing some research for us on, like, when we're doing the upfit, we have him do some of that research, some comparisons of the different different quotes that we had, things like that. But we've been able to get some things checked off the list that, have been dogging us for a while. We just haven't been able to free the time up for.
Gotcha. Anything else for us?
Ready for Old Home Day and just been busy, that's all.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. Still no word from the AG's office, I assume?
I called for an update today and there's nothing new to report. The investigation continues.
Well, I guess when they're ready, they're ready.
Yep, no, they're not gonna jump to any conclusions, they're gonna investigate and let the facts fall where they may.
Alright, you guys have anything for the chief? Any questions or concerns?
No, I'm good.
Alright, well then, we'll start with you on public comment then. How about anything else besides police that you want?
I'm good, thank you.
Leo?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it was good to see you guys are moving forward on that, the structural on the roof. That's good. I don't know all the particulars or the numbers, what I could gather out what you were talking about. Bob's right, I think retaining some money is really a real good idea, because you can get screwed.
Yeah, it's your leverage.
And in the meantime, it gives you a little bit of money to play with in the meantime, in case, if something, as you said, a tree falls, you still at least have a little bit of money. But that report from the auditor about our surplus is pretty scary. That means something there, that tells us something, doesn't it?
I mean, the only good thing is we don't have any debt service we have to pay.
Right.
You know, bonds and such like that.
Right, but again, you guys are talking about it right now, you know,
Yeah.
if this happens, if this happens, if this happens.
It's your rainy day fund.
Where do you,
The
right, where do you go
reality
for
too
that?
is we set with a recommended and a required tax collection. But if we have